My thought for the day is power of surprise. The power of surprise. I was reading something by it's a monk, and this monk, he's in a monastery, and he's a big spiritual person, and I really like what he has to say. Kind of uplifts me to hear his words. And so he writes. I'll just read a couple paragraphs here from him. He says, his name is David Steindl-Rast. He says, have you ever noticed how your eyes open a bit wider when you're surprised? Like just now, the last thing that happened, somebody walks forward with a donation check. My eyes opened a little bit. So you've ever noticed how your eyes open a bit wider when you're surprised? It's as if you've been asleep, merely daydreaming or sleepwalking through some routine activity, and then you hear, all of a sudden, your favorite tune on the radio. Or you look up from the puddles on the parking lot, and you see a rainbow. Or the telephone rings, and it's the voice of an old friend. And all of a sudden, you're awake. Even an unwelcome surprise shakes us out of our complacency and makes us come alive. We may not like it at first, but looking back, we can always recognize it as a gift. Boring and humdrum equals deadness. Surprise equals life. In fact, my favorite name for the one I worship in wonder, he says, my favorite name for God is surprise, capital S. Right this moment, I remember the great spiritual giants, all the great spiritual leaders of the past and the present. And they just reflect radiant aliveness. And I asked these people, what's it about them? He says, they're all profoundly grateful. And then I understood a secret. Here's the secret. A surprise does not make us automatically alive. Aliveness is a matter of give and take, of response. If we allow surprise merely to baffle us, it will stun us and stunt our growth, and we'll just forget about it. Instead, every single surprise is a challenge to each of us to trust, and so to grow. Surprise is a seed, and gratefulness sprouts. Gratefulness sprouts like a plant when we rise to the challenge of surprise. The great ones in the realm of spirit are intensely alive because they're deeply grateful. So I was thinking about surprise, and it happens all day long to us. Last Tuesday, I have the 5 o'clock Mass over at Dolores Mission Church where I do a religious service. And it was a kind of a hard day, here at work. There were some things that were weighing on my soul and some sad things going on. And, I went to the church and I'm standing out in front of the church, just standing there. Okay, I'm going to get through this service. Just not really feeling very alive. And all of a sudden I look down the street to my left, and there's this little boy running. He's not more than 3 years old, and he's running so fast. Little kids, maybe they just learned to walk. They're running so fast, they're almost losing their legs are almost falling out from under them. I see him running. And I'm looking at him, he has this big smile on his face, and he's running, and he just throws his arms around me, and he's hugging me. And then he's saying something, and I can't take it, So I bend down to hear what he's saying, and he's saying, kiss me. So I'm looking down, and so then I bend over, and right on the top of his head, he immediately lets go of my legs, and he lets out this whee. And he starts that's a dramatic surprise. But little surprises happen to us all the time, And, I was thinking of that story just now, and I was thinking, from my point of view, it was a surprise, but I was a surprise for him, too. He saw me, and he had to be, and he came running, And I was thinking of that story, and it just occurred to me just now upstairs. I was thinking, that's kind of how I feel when I see each and every one of you in the morning. I mean, when I see you, it's like, But he says, he says, we gotta notice and be grateful, Thank you. Every little time, there's some little surprise. They're happening. We're just I was stressed about doing the thought for the day. So, when we're stressed and anxious, we're kind of closed. Surprises are happening. We're just not open to it. Once it's over, surprises are happening. As soon as I started coming in, I felt in my heart that it started happening. And in my meditation class, which I do, it's all about quieting down, because we don't notice the little surprises in our life. Quiet, and even a distraction, if we give thanks. Notice a distraction and how it pulls you away from this. Notice it and return to your breath. That's like, and you grow in gratitude. And this guy says, each and every surprise is like a seed. And every time you're grateful for that surprise that happened, you're putting water on it, and it's growing. You're growing into the great, beautiful plant. You begin to discover that you're growing into this great and beautiful plant that you already are, that you always were, that you didn't know. So let's be open to the surprises today.